Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you have a question for Coach, could you please raise your hand? We will start with Kareem.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Hanging in.
Still getting there. Got one more week, so
Yep.
then you'll get a much needed break. Let's start with an update on Natasha, Maisha. How are they looking?
As I told you the other day, Maisha probably won't play until after the break. Natasha did a good portion of practice today, so we're hoping that we'll have her on Saturday. We'll need her. We held Sydney Weiss out of practice today. The ankle that she hurt is bothering her, so we're trying to get that some rest too.
Can we officially say Elena's not going to play before the break?
I've been saying that to you guys for a while.
Yeah. I don't know if did we say it officially? But I know that's what we understood.
I said it. I didn't expect her till after the break.
Gotcha. This week, one obviously would like to break this little losing streak before you guys go into the Olympic break. What's the focus of this week besides just trying to get healthy?
I think that's the first focus. I think the second focus is to kind of go back to some fundamentals. We won't even talk about Chicago stuff probably till Friday. It's more to get ourselves better at both ends of the court. I think the biggest problem is, and even this week, it's not like normal practices because we can't come close to having 10 people. So we haven't had a real practice probably in over 3 weeks, and it's starting to manifest itself in games. Little slippages on defensive pick and roll coverages or help coverages, offensive execution beyond 5 or 6 things. There's no repetition to what we're doing, and so we're trying to get back to some basics, even if it's 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 and some of our stuff, to get our footwork back down, to get our defensive principles solid again. We joke about sometimes practice is overrated, but right now for a team that's struggling and injured and everything else, the biggest thing you lose is practice time, either because you're playing games or because you don't have a full group, and that's been the most difficult thing. Now I think that'll be the best thing about the break for us too, is when we do come back to be able to get some normal practices and feel like we can work on things to improve them, and that's probably the focus this week more than anything.
I know I can't remember exactly the date we were talking about being able to have the men come practice. Is that back instituted yet, or is that after?
No, that's after we come back from the break.
Gotcha.
So hopefully, that last week of July we'll be able to do that. They will have to be fully vaccinated players, and they will have to test before we start. So that's part of the process too.
Gotcha. And that you expect that to make a world of difference also?
I think it'll help us tremendously. It'll help the whole league. Too many teams are shorthanded and trying to manufacture, practices, and it's just hard to get any 5-on-5 work done on a regular basis.
Cool. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Tyler.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well.
Hanging in.
Aren't we all? I know we've talked about Tina a lot this season and what she brings to the team and the incredible season she's had, but some of the stuff she's doing now is historic, and the pace that she's playing with and how many points she's been able to keep it up. Is it lost on you or the team on how what she's doing has almost never really been done before in WNBA history?
I don't know if it's lost on anybody. I think the frustrating part for her in particular and everybody else is that I think she would give a lot of that up to make sure we were winning. It's frustrating to be doing that, but it's not resulting in wins. And I think, she's trying to find a balance, as we all are, of, how much she can carry us and how much we need to get more people involved. And so that's a tricky balance, particularly when you have so many injured players. If you had a full complement of your team, I think there would be an easier way to, say, hey, so-and-so is going to have more of the points, or, but she's having to do it, I think, partly because, she feels the pressure to carry us a little bit. And part of it is because we're shorthanded and there aren't other people necessarily out there with her at times of the game that would normally be out there. And so I think what she's doing is statistically, to your point, unprecedented, but I think she would give that up in the heartbeat if you could add, 3 more wins to the thing and flip our record right now.
And she's told us throughout the season that she came to DC to win a championship. You've coached her before. Do you see that added drive with her into trying to make it all work, as you said, to kind of get the pieces together and get wins on the board?
I think the drive is there. I think the hardest part for her and everybody else is when you are going through what we're going through with all the injuries right now is to be patient. Nobody thought that when we started the season, I'd look down the bench and see, Elena Deladon, Alicia Clark, Natasha Cloud, Maisha Hines Allen, all in street clothes. Sydney Weiss was in street clothes for a while. Latoya retired, and Emma not here yet. I don't think any of us envisioned that. And so your perspective has to change. I mean, right now, I think our goal is to keep getting slightly better every day. And hopefully as we get players back onto the roster healthier, that it will pay off in wins. That has to be the hope. And, I think the frustrating part for her and for others is, you come to try to win a championship and all of a sudden the pieces you intended to play with aren't out there for you right now. And I think that it's hard as a player or, to stay patient with that. Well, we have no choice. She has no choice in it. I mean, when we get healthy, we get healthy. And hopefully we'll have plenty of time to, get ourselves going. It's how you're playing when you enter the playoffs that counts the most. Nobody wins a championship in the first month of the season. You can get yourself a head start on home court or, some momentum, but, it's how you're playing when it counts the most is the most important thing. And I think, she and we all have to keep that in perspective.
And one more for me. This one's about the Commissioner's Cup. I know for you guys that it really wasn't feasible to kind of chase that, especially with the start that you had and the injuries that became piling up. But what are your overall thoughts on how that's kind of gone throughout the season? And have you seen kind of in the background there be anything stressing, maybe not from the Mystics, but maybe for some other teams?
I haven't noticed it because I'm only, kind of focused on what's going on in our games. I mean, I know when I watch other games on TV, people are talking about it. I know that the teams that are in first place in those two things, Connecticut and Seattle, are talking about it. They tweet about it or they put something on Instagram about it. And certainly with the money involved and the exposure that goes with that, if we were in that kind of hunt right now, I'm sure there would be a lot more talk around our team. But we're not really a part of it at the moment, so we don't feel that so much.
Thank you, Coach.
Christy.
Hey there, Coach. I'm glad that you're hanging in there. I appreciate your time today. With regards to Megan Gustafson, I know this week, like you've said about practice, is going to be an invaluable slot of time, but what have you seen? Because I know her approach and attitude is right on line with what you like. What will these days look like ahead, especially for her in your system and philosophy?
I mean, the first, week of it was just kind of learning what we do and how we do it. I think right now, like today in practice, she was able to focus in on some of the little things that we expect with our defensive calls, some of our offense, some of the little nuances that, basically she was trying to learn everything on the fly. I'm hoping that this, few days here will help her, get more acclimated. The big thing for her, we'll probably sign her to another 7-day later this week. And then that will take her into the Olympic break. And hopefully those practices during the break, will help her be totally assimilated. The other thing that people have to be realistic about is there's no guarantee for her at the moment right now, depending on whether Emma comes back. I mean, if Emma Miesemann comes back after the Olympics, we will have to make a roster move. So I don't make assurances to anybody right now. we're living week to week as in a sense.
Right. And with regards to Emma, you said if, so there's really no 100% assuredness either way on her status after the Olympic break.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. See ya.
Sorry, that's it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you? Do you got somebody on hold while you're doing this?
Yes.
That's pretty impressive.
Currently, yes.
That's pretty good multitasking right there.
Thank
I like
you.
that. Listen, y'all got 1 week to go here to try to get back on the right track before you get this long break. You know what? And I know you don't have enough bodies to really have, Mike was just talking about not being able to have full practices. How do you approach it this week, just facing all the obstacles that you guys are facing?
Yeah, it's been a tough stretch for us right now, honestly. Tough in a lot of ways, especially because we can't practice, so we can't work on the things that we need to work on. Like our schemes against other teams, our defensive execution or our offensive execution. We really can't work on it right now. So it's a little bit frustrating for us, but I think we still have a great opportunity to continue to get better within playing with each other. I know we've been down numbers for I don't even know how long, but we found a way to get through these practices together. We remain to stay together. We know in times like this, sometimes you can disperse and go your own separate ways. But right now, this is when you all have to pull together. We as in us, have to pull together and just come together as a collective group. We know Chicago, tough team. With Candace coming back, it makes them extremely tough to guard. But we just have to come in with the mentality of every game, like we're coming in there to win. We know a lot of people probably are looking at us as a wounded team right now, but at the end of the day, I think what you're going to get from us is we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to give our all, and we're going to continue to stay together.
And just one last thing, Mike has mentioned this a couple times, and I'm curious, not just this week, but overall, how different has it been not being able to have like the men practice players this season?
Oh, it's extremely difficult. I think at least if we was able to have at least 5 of those practice players, with us having 6, at least we can have some type of rotation, even if it's a 1-2 person rotation come in, and we actually can get to work on our schemes. We can work on our offensive execution. So it's extremely tough, but I heard after the break, the league is allowing practice players to come back. So that'll be great for us.
Yep.
Along with our team should be completely healthy after this Olympic break, crossing our fingers. But yeah, it'll be great. But we're just going to remain the course. We just got to stay the course.
Cool. Practice going to look a whole lot different in August, ain't it?
Man, tell me about it. You better watch out. I'm telling you.
I appreciate you.
I see you, Kareem.
All right.
Tyler.
Hey, Javante, how are you doing today?
How you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I believe at the beginning of the season, you told us that no one should be underestimating Tina Charles this season.
Right.
She's obviously proven that with the season she's had.
Right.
Right now, she's on a historic pace to be the all-time leading scorer in a single season in WNBA history if she keeps it up. What's it like playing with her when she just has this ability to just every shot's going in right now, every look's looking good for her, and she's playing the best ball of her career?
Maybe I think we got to stop giving her the ball. No, I'm joking. I love Tina. What she's doing right now is, obviously is unbelievable. I've been with Tina, known Tina. We competed against each other throughout college, overseas, the league, and just being with her now and seeing how much she developed as a person, not only as a player, but a person as well. It's great to watch. It is really great to watch how much of a leap she made from when we played with each other in New York. So yeah, she's very dangerous. And like I said before, you should be on high alert for her. And I mean, the stuff she's doing is really unexplainable because it's like she makes it look so easy, but when you come in this practice and then you work with her and try to do some of the things she do, it's not as easy as it looks, when she's playing. But I commend Tina for, taking the time in the off season to work on her game to get her to where she's at today, because she's made a huge stride. And, for us, we have to do that. We have to, continue to improve our game each and every year. And I think she did that this off season.
And then have you ever seen or played with another player that has been on the role that she's been on so consistent, whether it's back in college, overseas, anyone that maybe comes to mind?
Well, I've been in the league for a minute, so I've been, I had Tamika Catchings, who I played with, who is the same way. My Detroit team, I felt like everybody on that team played the same way. So yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple different people. I've been on a couple teams where you see it, but you also see the work that people put in to expand their game and to be great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wilson.
How you doing, Shavante?
How you doing, Wilson? We can't see your face.
Oh, nah.
Okay.
I need it cut bad.
All right.
But I had two questions for you. The first, with your time in the league, have you ever been on a team that was going through this much injuries?
Actually, yeah. When I was in Indiana, I felt like we got hit with the injury bug early. We was down the whole 1-7. Actually, I think the year I won in 2012 was the year that I felt like everything just hit us all at once, whether it was injuries, we couldn't get it together, we couldn't close out a game. But I think through it all, especially in 2012, we remained together. We stayed together, we kept grinding, we kept getting better with each other, we kept learning each other. Sometimes you think players, but you don't know them as well unless you keep working at certain things. And I think, with us, that's all we have to do is continue to trust each other, continue to work, and just see the bigger picture at the end of the day. I know things look rough right now for us, and trust me, after that New York game, everybody was extremely mad, pissed off. So for us right now, it's just, to stay together, because that's what helped me in the past.
All right, and then to follow up, since you've been through an experience like that, Coach was just in here talking about the need, kind of just preaching about the big picture for you guys this year, knowing on the other side of the break, if everything goes well, two totally different rosters.
Yeah, two totally different rosters. We'll have
Totally
a whole
different.
squad back.
Right. So with that said, with what you've been through in the past, has it been easier for you to kind of help preach that message of staying on track, staying together, bigger picture to everybody else?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we get in a frustrating mindset, or we get annoyed because things isn't happening quick like we want them. We know we're a great team. We have great players, great coaching staff. It's just an unfortunate situation right now with injuries, and that's a part of the game. So who can you really blame? Nobody right now. So for us, it is a bigger picture. At least during the break, we know Ariel and Tina be gone in Tokyo, but it'll allow everybody else, especially the ones that's been injured, to get back in our flow of things. So it'll be great in August. I know it's tough for all of us, extremely tough, but we'll get through it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Last question to Christy.
Hey, Shavante.
Oh, Chrissy, we can't see you neither. What you got going on?
I'm taking my son to the pool. It's always we're on the move.
So. Okay, that's summertime sunshine.
I have to be hands free, so right. I don't want to have the eye contact. I'm trying to model good driving.
Right.
But with that, you were talking about the team being wounded, and that's not necessarily physically, right? It's like, isn't the mental approach of that not easy to deal with on the other side of it? Like, we understand that obviously the injuries are what they are, but right. You don't want to have that in your side pocket as an excuse. So the mental challenge of plowing forward, staying together, the big picture mentality, what is that focus like for you and the team at this juncture, knowing that you could always reach in that pocket and say, well, hey, here are all the issues, but what does it take mentally to stay on course and to keep plugging away?
Oh, Christy, I'll tell you what, mentally it's extremely frustrating. Like I stated earlier, but when you look at our roster, I mean, we could compete with anybody, you know, in this league. But right now, mentally, you know, we can't mentally have a mental breakdown, because then it'll escalate and it'll go to one person, to the next person, to the next person. And then that becomes negative. And right now, we don't need no negativity. We need everything positive. We need everything going in the right direction, you know, because we got people that's injured and they want to play, you know. So
right.
I feel like mentally we can't, especially the ones that's out there playing, we can't show we're mentally frustrated, because they're just as mentally frustrated as us, because they can't come out and help compete with us. So I think for us, we just have to remain positive. I think we're doing a great job of that. I think we've adapted to the one man down, another one step up role. And we're just trying to stay together as much as possible, especially staying positive, especially when you lose stupid games like we just lost in New York. That can mentally mess with you. But, you know, with our group and with our, you know, coaching staff, it helps us to have like leaders that can get us over the hump, you know, and that can mentally talk to us, along with, you know, me, EDD, AC, Tosh, Tina, especially the people that never been in this position before. I think mentally we all could just lock in together and just stay positive, because we can't go nowhere being negative, honestly.
Right. No, well, good luck. And I know that's the challenge, but you guys are fighting hard. We see it.
Thank you. Thank you, Chrissy. Have fun at the pool.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's it, Shavante.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
If anyone has any questions for Megan, please raise your hand. Christy?
Hey, Megan. Coach Tebow was talking about how, you know, you don't play again until the 10th on Saturday, but this week is going to be really integral, especially for you, because, you know, you've kind of been drinking from a water fountain. I mean, from a fire hydrant is what I like to say. I said it wrong, but, you know, you haven't really had the footing in terms of practice time. But when you know that you have these next couple of days to really gain some traction in that way, what are you looking for to focus in on in particular leading to the Chicago game?
Yeah, I think right now my focus is just to kind of get used to the system even more. You know, I've obviously been here for a couple of weeks now, so I know a little bit more than I did on day one. But, you know, like today for practice, we were able to get up and down a little bit and to break down things, shell drill, defensive stuff, especially today, just trying to figure out, okay, what are our tendencies? What do we want to really focus on going into this game against Chicago? And so I felt really good about it, you know, getting some work in there. And yeah, just getting used to the system, I think, has been the most important thing for me. And that's what I'm going to focus on this week.
Understood. And I know Coach also said that you guys probably won't hone into Chicago X's and O's until, you know, Thursday, Friday, but just kind of side-eyeing what that matchup looks like on Saturday. What do you feel the specifics will be for that game?
Yeah, you know, Chicago is a great team. You know, they've been playing really well. They have some great vets that just know how to run a team and to really keep everyone together. And so we're going to have to be really disciplined on a lot of different actions, especially defensively. You know, on that pick and roll, that action right there is kind of what we've been focusing on this week for practices, just getting sharper on things like that. You know, they've obviously got some great players, you know, Candace, Allie Quigley, Courtney Vanders. I mean, I could really just keep going on and on about their players. They're really awesome. And it'll be a fun battle. I think it's something that we need to look at as we need to start being in attack mode instead of survival mode. I think that's been kind of the theme of today and moving forward is, yeah, we're really tired, but at the same time, we have to push through it.
I like that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem?
Hey, Megan, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Almost a little bit after what you were just saying, kind of pushing through, and Shavante was speaking a little bit about staying mentally tough and not being frustrated, even though, you know, with all the injuries and everything else, and a disappointed loss in New York. I'm just curious, what have you seen from the group, or how has the group tried to stay mentally strong and not let some of these frustrations seep through?
Right. I think today specifically in practice, we were really focusing on communication. You can really resolve a lot of things defensively, especially when you just talk with your teammates, and when you're tired, especially, that's really a crucial moment to be able to communicate. And I think that's what we really focused on today. It's something that really helps with going through that mental obstacle of, we have lower people right now available, we're tired, that kind of thing. And so, just being ready for that every single time you can, because at the end of the day, it's about what you can do for your teammates. When you're tired, don't look inward, look outward. What can you do to help out your teammates, especially when you're tired.
Gotcha. And just one last one for me. As you guys get through Saturday and start the Olympic break, how do you approach it? That's a long time of between games, and it sounds like you guys will get a little bit of time off, but how do you balance that time off between trying to kind of stay in it, and also with you, because you're still kind of new, still trying to learn the team and learn your new teammates? It's got to be kind of a weird cross section at the moment for you, I'd assume.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance. But at the same time, I think we've dealt with this balance for a long time, especially being a pro athlete, you have to balance it out. Whether it's in season, whether it's off season, you learn how to do it. Especially, it helps to have a couple of years under my belt personally, so I know how to do that balance, and I think I have even more experience in terms of being in the league, out of the league, waiting, coming back, signing quickly, trying to integrate into a team. And so I've learned a balancing act, and going into this break, especially for me personally, I'm pretty fresh. I'm going to be training quite a bit to try to just keep staying ready, staying focused, working on specific things that I've learned here the past couple weeks, just so I stay fresh, stay focused. My body's not worn down right now. I was able to, from overseas to training camp with Dallas, I was able to be at home for a little bit. And even though I was training, pretty hard, I wasn't playing games. And so my body's fresh, but I'm going to keep it that way.
Makes perfect sense. I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, Megan. Thank you.
Thank you.